Hello, ladies and Germans, how are you all doing? This is Over coming to you with some more Company of Heroes 2. In this particular case, we're actually going for 1v1 today, and I frankly picked this game because of the name of our Wehrmacht player. That's right, playing Mechanized Assault. It is going to be our good commander, Bernard Montgomery. It appears he has foregone his loyalist ways to the UKF and decided to go over to the dark side of the force. His opponent, for some reason, having a French name, so we are all over the place today. It is the UKF forces of Lyonror. And I'm not entirely sure that's supposed to be the case, but that is what we're going to go with today. The map itself is Faymonville Approach, and Lyon over here is bringing in, or Lion, maybe I'll just say Lion, make it a little easier, is bringing in Vanguard Operations Regiment, Royal Engineer Regiment, and Mobile Assault. So already with Bernard over here choosing to go with Mechanized Assault, probably wouldn't be the best idea to necessarily go with Vanguard Operations or even with, I don't know. Maybe Royal Engineers actually wouldn't be too bad. But we're starting off early, very quick in fact. These Pioneers are trying to get into this house. Yep, they do make it just before the infantry section does. This house right here is a dominant position on the Faymonville Approach. You see right here such a smaller map. It's almost on top of the UKF base itself. You're going to see, even with this Vickers moving up, that this machine gun will be controlling things rather well, assuming they point themselves in the right direction. The Vickers will, of course, they'll be chasing back these Pioneers, and they does just barely make it out of range yet. This is such a weird firing arc right here. And I would not hold out too much hope, I think, for the early UKF position. Already down in squads with a mechanized assault, assault grunts coming in. Those MP40s will shred the early UKF troops at close range. Well, so in the meantime, folks, please forgive me for not putting another tutorial video. It's taking me a little longer than I wanted to actually get some material together. But in the meantime, we're going to just focus on this particular map, okay? Okay. Lion by himself is also bringing along some interesting thing. He's going to bring along Royal Education. So Royal Engineers might be playing a bigger part in his army than we usually see in most UKF players. Those Sten guns against the Wehrmacht, though, may not do so hot with the MP40s of the assault guns. We'll notice up in the north, we are going to see that this infantry section has decided to hunker down inside this massive house. Maybe it looks like a firehouse or something to me. I've always kind of wondered what it would be. The UKF has managed to connect their fuels, so of course we could be seeing a push to, yep, we already have actually seen the jump up to platoon command post. And Bernard over here seems to be not paying attention to how wounded his troops are. It will be better for him if he backed out now. If he honestly gets taken out from this, okay, he's finally making it out of that house. It makes it away with a sliver of health. Assault grunts do move in, eager to get revenge upon these infantry section forces, but they are caught out in return. Good gosh, these Sten guns are actually ripping them to shreds. I was wrong. But then again, a mortar in turn starts dropping rounds on top of the infantry section. Next round or two could be rather devastating. And nope. It's going to take a long time to get in there, but it's not going to hit them. And though it might be bad for this mortar team, they are going to get caught out slightly by the Royal Engineers here, but it won't be too bad. And it seems that Bernard's doubling down on his Assault Grenadiers, which is going to be quite an issue once this Vickers gets posted up in this house. Add in, too, that the Germans don't really have this secure over here in terms of fuel. They have it connected, but with these Royal Engineers right here, Pioneer squads are going to be kind of hard-pressed. Ooh, yep, hard-pressed indeed. Now, this MG42 is not going to be able to deliver the same volume of firepower it would otherwise be able to do. You see already, they're actually falling apart like crazy. It would behoove them to get out right now. Right now. Royal Engineers are pinned, but that may not be enough. Though they are beating on those Royal Engineers something fierce. MG42 does decide to finally back it off. Maybe that was just enough time to actually allow assault grunts to kind of cheat up in a way. Mortar, for its own part, has not started dropping rounds yet on that house. They're going to do so in just a second. And the Germans have still not teched up, surprisingly enough. Considering, though, that it's a mechanized assault, it might just be that he's going to forego the later tech trees or the later part of the tech tree rather, and instead just trying to stall out for both the Strugs and for the Tiger tank. I mean, and it's possible if you can make the game last that long. It's definitely an okay option. Not a superlative one necessarily, but you know, it's workable. We are going to see down to the south that Royal Engineers are going to get some shake and bake going on with against the Wehrmacht Pios. And in the north, actually, we are going to see the Germans are making a big push, taking away the 2-to-1 cap advantage that is currently existing for the Brits, as well as decapping their fuel. So, while the Brits are down here kind of wondering what the heck to do with their fuel, because they still haven't even teched up to hammer or anvil, really, Germans are going to make them pay. Of course, by the same measure, it seems the Germans are going to lose their fuel as well in just a few seconds here. But they're eager to cause those Brits to take some real losses while doing so. Ooh, almost take out that one squad. Not quite first blood just yet on the map, but it could be happening rather soon. In the meantime, assault Grens, oh no, regular Grens are caught out in the open over here. The infantry section has just procced that whole healing kit, but now they are in the fight, so that's going to be a problem right there. Ooh, and these Grens are going to get caught out in return. These Germans are kind of hustling off. Kind of very, very weird section. And we have a weird media engagement here happening. Assault Grens are finally starting to put the hurt out on those assault NGs. And the infantry sections themselves are backing away. So the Germans have a decent position, actually. I'm a little surprised. I'm a little surprised. They do have the fuel in the north, and I don't know if technically, nope, the fuel is not in supply over here for the British either. So the Germans are taking a good advantage, at least for the time being, and they are finally teching up 7 minutes into this game. 470 to 483. UKF is kind of having a quick breather over here back in base. And that might be what they need right now. I mean, down to the south, they are going to make it a 2-to-1 cap advantage again for them, but it's still very, very early, and the Germans have not decided to really invest their manpower maybe as much as they should have. For their part, the Brits are going to go for an early 6-pounder, or a relatively early 6-pounder. Frankly, the fact that they haven't seen a vehicle just yet would generally mean it's a good idea to go for an anti-tank gun, but it might just be that the Germans are just not really concerned about that too much. Royal Engineers do try to take advantage of the fact that there don't seem to be a whole lot of Germans paying attention in this house. And shockingly enough, while they do take out a model inside, it seems that they're going to take a lot more damage than they want to. And indeed, what is still going on over here? Mortar's still firing, not really doing a whole lot. And the Brits do back out of there, finally. But that fuel is definitely going to go down for the Germans if they're not careful. It is now battle phase 1, and they do have a second... Ooh, no, it seems like I missed a pickup on those Pioneers for the Germans. The Germans lost their first squad. You do see this other squad right here is upgrading with another Flammenwerfer 35. But I don't know if that's really the best option right now. I mean, the mortar dropping rounds on this house right here, that's a good idea. But Bernard is not in a particularly wonderful position. Strange. Will we see a mechanized assault group? That could be kind of interesting. Having some P-Guns come onto the field would be a good idea. Would allow some anti-tank, some true anti-tank to exist. Oof, and this mortar team needs to book it out of there right now before they lose another guy. But the infantry section is forced away before they do get their dirty deed done. Royal Engineers are going to put up a 3-inch mortar pit back here, and this thing has a dominant position on Flamanville approach. It will be able to remove this garrison at will, move this garrison at will. If the Germans get inside over here, it will move this garrison at will. You see it already, they're actually setting themselves up to fire up to the north. And until the Germans really get themselves some true hardcore kind of either close support on this 3-inch mortar pit or a crazy amount of indirect fire, they're really going to be feeling the pain. MG42 to the north is going to go and pin down this infantry section, allowing the assault grens to kind of shift forward. And are we going to see a medic bunker just yet? No, there's still no medic bunker up for the Germans, and that's a big mistake right there. Yep, and indeed, that's that mortar pit getting itself a couple of kills already. Do you see those poor guys, Hans, Franz, and Jürgen? I'm going to see a half-track going to come out for the Germans. Kind of interesting. An uncommon pick these days Half-tracks don't get as much love as they used to in the original game, and there's generally a fairly good reason for it. Still no bunker, still no bunker. The half-track, it's too lightly armed. It's too lightly armed, and frankly, there's pierced by just way too many items. This Vickers can pierce a half-track on a good day. This 6-pounder is going to destroy it. This mortar pit can do a fair amount of damage. It's just a very, very bad place to be if you are a light vehicle, and especially if your point is just to carry troops to the front. And let's be fair, that's exactly what a half-track is. It's just a giant taxi. Brits to the north are going to try to push forward to take back this VP and might be able to get a trip cap out. Maybe. As of right now, they are allowing one squad of Royal Engineers to just tank the ever-living bejesus out of this MG42. And I don't think... Ooh, this could be interesting. Destroy cover, maybe? No, they're just going to put the Royal Engineers in here as quickly as possible. Try to burn down that machine gun. And it looks like they are able to do so. No, I was wrong. The half-track's going to come forward, just bake everything. Everything. They're going to burn forever. This could be an interesting decision. I kind of always forget about that. It does lose the ability to reinforce the troops. And that 6-pounder right here is going to do a fair amount of hurt if that half-track does not get out of the firing arc right now. And it's still going to have an issue with that. Round comes in, slams into him. And the MG is going to probably force him to back away as well. Yep, we're going to see the Germans back off. Oof, but we could see a death of a squad here. No, never mind. He's going to get away. I do think Bernard is missing out on an opportunity. Okay, there we go. Finally, a medic bunker has gone out. And it doesn't matter. It seems that mortar has been decrewed. That's unfortunate right there.
They're trying to take it.
407 to 482, though. 6-pounder is sliding forward. My guess is a defense in depth here. Yes. So the mortar pit's up and we have the two 6-pounders to kind of control the major approaches from the Flammenwerfer half-track. And indeed, I actually don't even think they can successfully reach this too easily. Be pretty close. That's for dang sure. Burner's going to be quite a bit of time before he can really tech up. He's going for the battle phase 2. Strange. Not uncommon, perhaps, but strange. Meanwhile, in the north, the bulk of his forces are swinging around over again. Are they going to try to take back this fuel position? I don't know if that's the greatest option, especially with the mortar pit kind of all over the place. It only has 3 kills right now, which is a little bit uncurious for most mortar pits.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
Yep, there's a fuel point, and I'm watching and waiting for that mortar pit to rotate its firing position. No, it's not. It's not going to turn. Interesting. Interesting. And instead, we're actually going to see a couple of mines going down for the Brits. And guys, I'm going to say right now, this may not be the highest tier of play. We are going to see an MG bunker go down here to the south. And I dare say it will be out of range from the mortar pit. And indeed might even be able to come online just in time to suppress or pin this infantry section. In the meantime, Veteran C is still in honestly fairly good shape. And Lyonror knows that there's that bunker right there, and his guy's going to get suppressed in just a second anyway. Whoa, okay, I thought for somehow that I just saw that the icon disappeared for the squad, and I was like, what? They had 4 guys. How'd they all go down? To the south, we are going to see the suppressed squad slowly back away, and these assault grens are probably going to take some real heat here in a second. As this mortar pit says, thank you so much for the gift of your death. See your death? See your death? See your death. And rounds impact, surprisingly, not doing as much as it should, but the assault grens do run into a mine, and that is a problem. How is veterancy looking right now? I feel that's kind of something we haven't really touched on too much. Other than the fact that the half-track has gouged monstrous canals all over the map. UKF isn't too bad. We are going to see a fair amount of early veterancy on these troops, and manages to actually cut off that capture just before it was going to go off. It is going to get picked up now by this infantry section, but well done by Bernard. 405 to 449. Where's the experience over on the German side? Okay, the Germans are in a lot harder shape. This half-track's doing pretty well, but the half-track, its efficacy in the long run is desperately falling because of these dual 6-pounders. Where's the second one? I know it's around here somewhere. Oh, he's guarding the northern approach. In case there's a flank run, this is exactly what they're trying to guard against. It's true that these bunkers right here will kind of be a soft counter to the half-tracks moving forward. But this right here is a much better opportunity. It covers the road on both sides. There's a mine right here, so that way if the half-track runs over, the big win. And good golly, Miss Molly, we're actually going to see ourselves. That's a Cromwell, is it not? Yes, it is. That 75mm cannon will be very, very difficult for the Germans to stop. And it seems that Mortar is just more concerned about putting rounds down range on top of that garrison, which I think is a good play as well. Now, 60 minutes into this game, and what are we really seeing? What we're seeing now is we're going to see a Panzer IV coming out, and that Cromwell with the 6-pounders will evenly trade pretty easily into that particular matchup. And indeed, I'm a little concerned about the Germans in the short term. Kind of wondering, they should be able to bring in some P-grants, shouldn't they? Yes, they should, and they have the munitions to go for that double Shrek upgrade. And I think that's an entirely way too important thing right now. Aha! We are going to see a quick sprint forward with this Flammenwerfer half-track. He's just going to burninate these guys to death. The second the smoke comes off, it's going to be like a rude awakening here. Lyonror doesn't, he does see him. Okay, interesting. We're running back and forth into the house, and we are going to see them go down. Assault guns do come in, try to use their whole Sturmhandgranate assault, but it's not going to do as much as they want to. And the Cromwell announces its presence, and that will be a bit of a hard cheese to swallow. No, he gets going to hammer. He's going to get away, though, it looks like. Especially with this Panzer IV coming with that long barrel 75mm. The Cromwell is outmatched without assistance from its 6-pounders. And where are the 6-pounders? They're finally shifting forward right now, but Burner will not be goaded. Lion's going to have to really work to push his anti-tank advantage. Flammenwerfer half-track's going to come forward. He's going to actually get 3 stars of veterancy just with 8 kills. I'm always amazed by how quickly the half-track gains veterancy. It's just, it seems way too quick, but at the same time, it really is kind of worth it. I'm honestly shocked. Mortar Pit in the meantime does some kind of desultory counter battery fire. No, that's the legit German mortar. My apologies, folks. And the Germans are trying to get this back into play. More smoke coming down? No, regular barrage coming down. Question is where? I'm not entirely sure. To the north? No. Oh, smoke. Oh, he's just smoking this out in the middle. I guess he's decided that smoke me if you got him. Not too sure why necessarily, but you know what? That's fine. And it is going to be mobile assault for the Brits, and this super late sniper. I'm not sure I agree with this particular call. Yes, this will be good against 6-pounders if you can keep them alive. But that's going to be really difficult. Mortar is going to do pretty well against it. Any kind of rush by infantry sections will be a massive issue. I guess if you have the enemy kind of distracted a bit, that could be a pretty decent opportunity here. And yeah, actually, we're going to see this Tommy squad getting torn to pieces. Is the sniper going to get off another shot? He's gotten 2 kills already. No, he's not going to get that last shot. Mortar Pit is going to start firing rounds at him, trying to find his location. Feels very much like I'm watching an enemy at the gates over here. Commandos come out as well. Those guys are pretty beastly. Problem is that they are super fragile. You see a couple bursts of LMG fire is enough to send them away. Repaired Cromwell does slide up to the north, picking on the assault grunts a little bit, and since these guys don't have any committed anti-tank, they're doing okay. The Cromwell, that is. In the meantime, this MG42 has been sitting up here almost since the word go. Yes, he was moving around the center of the field, but not a whole lot happening in the meantime. And indeed, I'm kind of wondering if that MG is not being deployed. Of course, as soon as I say that, they're going to pin an entire squad here. Royal Engineers do find themselves under fire. Literally, half-track slides forward, will be able to chase off these other Royal Engineers pretty quickly. And PDQ, what had been a big, decent push, all things considered, gets pushed away rather simply. To the south, we'll see that this Cromwell has taken out, that machine gun position. 6 pounders over here to support this Cromwell? No. And what really should be a no-brainer opportunity here is falling apart for the Brits. 6 pounders need to be over here to support your tank. Yes, I understand you're concerned about this half-track, but you have a couple of mines already on the field, and I think there's one right up here. Maybe replace one back along the major road arterials, and that half-track is pretty much screwed if it gets any kind of aggression. And it seems he knows that too. Where are the 6 pounders? They're still not in position. One is facing to the south. That was even further south. Oh my gosh, it's going to be a light arty barrage as well. So this mortar pit is bracing. It is trying very, very hard to hold on. But he's going to take a fair amount of bad attention here. A bad company. Could be, maybe? Close? Braced structure? 6 pounder could take some incidental fire. No, shockingly enough, the mortar pit does survive. I'm very surprised to see that, in fact. It's not by much. If this half-track rushed in just a wee bit more, he could take him out. And indeed, I might even consider rushing in my half-track to do so. In the south, though, it's going to be this Cromwell sliding forward yet again, and the Panzer IV now against this setup, as well as these other 2 squads of Pioneers. Okay, flamethrowers might have been good against tanks in the actual fray, but when you're fighting Company of Heroes actions, it's not going to be the best opportunity here. Oh my gosh. This Flammenwerfer for half-track is just doing everything he needs to do and more, and the 6 pounder is still out of position. Why is he not in position? There goes the mortar pit that did not need to die. Yep, this AT gun, had it been positioned the way it had been up here to the north, it would have been so much better. But it seems at least the Brits are able to pick themselves up a 2-to-1 cap, 402 to 339, 22-42 into the game, and it's possible that the Brits can come back from the deficit. But I think it's more because the Germans right now are not being as aggressive as they could be. Indeed, I'd be throwing down a couple of strokes here to really, really shore up my defenses.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
Is there going to be any kind of rifle grenade being used? No. No, and instead there's going to be 2 guys actually running into each other. Rifle grenade does come out, though. Could this be enough to take out this machine gun squad? It is, and there goes the machine gun, and that is a big, not a huge win, but it's still a pretty decent win for the Germans. And I'm going to guess it comes a Faust or 2, but even better. There's 1. Damaged engine, about time. Question is, where's the P4 to rush in on it? No, it's not going to come. It's not going to happen. Instead, the Cromwell will be able to limp away as the Germans take a 2-to-1 advantage, controlling the center part of the field, shockingly. In the meantime, these commanders are going to slide back up to the north and are going to get picked off right away. They are not going to be able to ambush, nor will they be able to find themselves cloaked and daggered their way through this. Kind of wondering why it has not been pinned already. No, it's going to be a decap, but I can't imagine it being too much more than that. Yep, there it goes. There's that pin. And this mortar that has been recruited is back in the fray, and here's a Pack 40 at long last. 24 minutes into this game, and with the VPs and a very American style going on right here, red, white, and blue, the Germans decided it's probably a good idea to really, do something about that Cromwell. Frankly, right now, they're doing everything they have to do with the anti-infantry. Question really just is, if they can push back this tank, all might be well.
Our capture point. They're trying to take it.
Fuel points, though, are in total control for the Brits. I'm kind of wondering why the Germans have been allowing that so much. And that has a hammer specialization, so expect to see a comet, coming in the near future. 185 fuel, there we go. I couldn't quite find that. So another 2 minutes off just yet. And by the time that happens, though, we could see the Tiger on the field. And that Tiger is quite devastating, let me tell you. Coupled with a P4 and with the infantry that is slowly gaining so that drips and drabs of experience. Oh geez, this Bren carrier is going to get, well, Bren gun is going to take some losses here. Unless, of course, this sniper decides to make it their lucky day. He picks off a commando instead. And for some god-awful reason, this AT gun has not been set to fire solely on vehicles, so giving away his position right there, and that's a problem. Germans, though, in the meantime, are going to pick themselves up the last VP and the fuel in the north. So, that loss of that mortar pit has really, really thrown back the Brits by quite a bit. I'm not going to necessarily say it's a top play that we should be focusing on, but at the same time, a very, very good decision. And the Brits, what can they do right now to kind of get back in this? One opportunity actually might be to bring in this land mattress. I know they really, really want to go for that Comet, but now the Comet's been pushed off by another 2 minutes for lack of fuel income, and the Germans, for some reason, are going to invest in a bunker up here. Maybe not the best option, but, you know, modifying themselves a little bit differently, I suppose. Germans will take incidental fire. Sniper's going to come over here. He's picking off headshots like crazy. He's got 6 kills, maybe not a ton, but doing okay. This Cromwell should be coming under fire immediately, maybe even faster. But instead, it's the Royal Engineer Squad that's going to go down. That's a hazard removal kit being going down as well. Pack 40 will get line of sight in on this Cromwell. And now that Tiga is on the field, land matches might be a good opportunity right here, guys. You want to push back the infantry, you got to do it right now. Because 27 minutes in and you are slowly going down in those VPs, that's not a great place to be. Imagine this Tiga is also upgrading his machine gun. Good. And this sniper's efficiency has not gone up by like 5 or 6 points pretty easily because of that machine gun. Doesn't have to fully retreat. He just kind of sits up here and says, hey guys, you can't do anything about it. Oh no, but that Cromwell's going to come in and notice, wait a second, that's a big tank right there. That's a huge mother tank. And while he's put a fair amount of damage into that bunker, and indeed maybe 1 or 2 shots more is all it needs. Again, Germans don't have to do squat. All they have to do is just hang back and sit. In the south, commanders are going to come up against 2 squads of assault Grens backed up by legit Grens, and I'm surprised that, okay, it's going to be a light Gannon bomb coming in, and that will hurt. But I suspect we might see a dead commando squad coming through here, as there is just blocking galore. Yep, that's 1 squad, and another squad's been called in, but he's right on top of these Germans, and even if he takes out 1 squad, I'm not sure that's really worth it here. Rifle grenade does go out, though, and misses impacts on the house. And the commandos, which have been called in, yep, they took out a very, very strong squad of, assault Grens? Yes, assault Grens. Still not, I think, worth the 400 manpower. Especially when you factor in the fact that these guys over here are going to have to be reinforced as well for 35 a pop. Brits will, in the meantime, pop up the whole vehicle crew repairs. So they're going to be hunky-dory there for at least a little bit. My question is, where's this mortar, and why is it not dropping rounds on top of these anti-tank positions? I don't know. It seems like they're having a holiday over here. And and the pack is firing what amounts to AP rounds at an infantry position, and shockingly enough, doing damage too. No, that's gotta be the sniper. Yeah, it's a sniper. Never mind. Cromwell's going to charge forwards again. It's a bad idea, though. Here's the first opening, and there's going to be this Panzer IV that's still right there. So all that munitions he just used, it's just losing its own efficiency. In the north as well, we're going to see this half-track come up. He's going to bake this squad of Tommies. He's already dropped a model. And probably going to lose at least 1 more on retreat. No. I always am a little confused on how the particulars come out. Oh, no, in fact, that was a comment, guys. Excuse me. How the particulars work for Flame. Because it never seems like Flame does the immediate damage you might hope it would. And that Flammenwerfer half-track continues to be okay. Oh, happy days indeed. Sniper, in the meantime, has taken some heats, but he still has 11 kills. He's going up to second rank in just a second here.
Our opponents are seizing
Just as soon as another 1 or 2 headshots decide to cross his path, and I imagine it's going to happen pretty soon. Oh no, instead it's going to be the half-track playing firefighter, no pun intended. You know, since he's baking everything.
We are suffering losses.
And with the assault guns, that's a problem right there. In the north, we will see, though, it has been something going down. I think, no, yep, it's a Pioneer squad that's gone down because of that Cromwell.
What's next?
And that was just a bunch of SMOS mines, I think, that really caused that. Now, all up to the way north, Germans don't have any kind of AP ammo being used. I mean, it could work, but it wouldn't really be worth it. And instead, we're going to be sliding up with that Tiger tank, and that's a good plan right there. So, maybe a Panzerfaust? That could be enough time to get in there, enough range, perhaps? No, the Tiger tank's going to be able to back away safely. Oh no, this... I was going to say, these 6-pounders are going to get caught out. Instead, it's going to be light arty barrage. Yep, there goes the half-track, but I imagine this 6-pounder is going to get taken out as well.
Inflicting losses upon us.
No, maybe not.
We have forced the enemy down.
Maybe not. So, a lot of munitions tossed down, and unfortunately not taking the losses, well, not inflicting the losses they might have otherwise been worried about. I think at this point, it's just time to start spamming in the Stokes. You can call another 2 Stokes pretty easily. Oh, but P-guns, I guess, works too. You have the munitions to start sliding in the AT. And having the infantry is not a bad opportunity, I suppose. I think it probably would have been better to be in a little bit sooner, but, you know, hindsight's 20/20, right? Panzerfaust's going to come out on top of the Cromwell? No. No, shockingly enough. Tiger tank does come forward, though. It starts laying into the Comet. Yeah, it takes a little bit of hit, and it's not too bad, especially considering that these Pack and the 6-pounder are going to continue to play, you know, ridiculous firing. And I don't even know why they're firing at each other. Oh, good, they're not doing it anymore. Hold fire has finally been used in the 6-pounder, and the shot blocker is going to cut off the sight of the Tiger for the 6-pounder. That's good right there. Now, these P-guns over here, I think, are a little bit of an ace in the hole for the moment for Bernard. He's not really concerned about holding on to this fuel anymore. He's got oodles and oodles of fuel. In fact, I think the only person the fuel benefits would, in fact, be the Brits. So while it's good to prevent your opponent from taking any sort of resource on the field, can't complain too much. Pioneers are going to hide inside the smoke and try to bake these engineers, these Tommies as much as possible. Not easy, though. Those Bren guns will carve through the Germans like a hot knife through butter. In the north, yet again, this Comet and this Cromwell are just sliding forward. They're really trying to destroy this MG, and we'll be able to do so soon enough.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Will this Tommy squad go down on retreat? No, not quite. And instead, it's going to be Land Matchers coming out finally at long last. I really think we're missing an opportunity here. And P-Guns over here not picking up Shreks just yet. I think it's another missed opportunity. But that MG is finally down, and that's a very big thing for the Brits, at least in the north. The question, I suppose, is how effective will his Land Matchers be? That's the first question. The second question is, what is going to happen between this armor spearhead? I get right now the Germans want to have enough fuel on hand to call in another Tiger should they need to. But I think, first of all, showing your heels to the enemy is a bad idea. And I think not concentrating your firepower right now is an even more egregious error. P-Guns, in the meantime, will have that that little bundle grenade thing. That thing is pretty beastly. We'll see off those 2 English squads. But these tanks are pointed the wrong direction. Turn your tanks around, my friend. Turn your tanks around. Commanders, in the meantime, are laying dog up here, just kind of hanging out. Maybe just waiting for his nice little support weapon to come by. I don't know for 100%. We will see Land Matchers is going to start to unleash upon the middle part of the map, and shockingly is doing like no damage. He even hits a telephone pole, I think, or explodes in midair. I'm not 100% sure. But yes, he's done some damage to the Pack, and that's definitely a strong opportunity. But let's think about what he's trading off here. He missed some micro up here in the north, and that's going to be a problem. Okay, another bundle grenade should be coming at any point soon here. Oh no, instead it's going to be a light arty barrage yet again. Okay, so kind of a waste. He did push back the infantry from the Brits for a couple seconds here, but really not worth the 120 munis. We'll need to have some legit casualties at that point. Commanders are going to come up in 86 this pack. Yep, there they go. Meanwhile, this mortar just continues to drop smoke rounds in the middle part of the map. Not sure that's a great idea either. Yikes. But Common's going to say, guys, stop picking on my friend the Commando, and they're going to go total tank in the middle part of this field. One P-Grunt squad is already down. What the heck is that thing? I never remember what that's called. Willie Pete barrage. It's a Willie Pete shell. Doesn't get used very often, in my mind. Willie Pete is deadly, my friends. In the north, however, we are going to see the Germans try to beat on infantry wherever they can find it. Might be able to pick up this victory point, and that could be a good small win. But again, they have to do something about these tanks.
Damned enemies trying to take a point from us.
I'm trying to think, out of curiosity's sake, why no one's going down to the south. The Brits are just tunneling in the middle part of the map. And indeed, one more round could be enough to take out this engineer squad. They need to book it out of there. They finally do. That's good. Pack is still uncrewed. I would upgrade these guys as soon as possible. Mostly because 2 Shreks for 120 munis is an excellent deal. Nope, instead it's another late arty barrage. He just wants to scatter these guys as much as possible. And 6 pounders are not going to get up in time. But again, the light arty barrage doesn't do as much damage, I think, as it should. In the meantime, land match just fires up to the north. Does a little bit of damage, not quite enough to really justify its usage. And indeed, this Comet is probably going to take a Panzerfaust to the face by somebody. No, shockingly, he doesn't. He makes it out alive. And it looks like it's going to be a Sherman Firefly, so we're going all over the place in terms of, oh, jeez. In terms of UKF tanks. The only thing we're not bringing in, and thank God we're not, is a Centaur. But it's a trip cap for the Germans, and while this Pioneer squad might go down because of this Bren gun, I guess the full vetted up Tommy squad. Are we going to see a bundle grenade? No, I wouldn't bet on it. That's a lot of munitions. Of course, I've been wrong before. This Vickers machine gun is letting loose, and shockingly enough, able to pick off 2 models real quick on top of that section. Smoke coming out. We are going to see Burner decide to just kind of break the line of fire from that machine gun. Kind of curious why he's not trying to drop mortar rounds on top of that, but hey, you know what? He's not the professional, but he's the player, not I. And indeed, we're going to see ourselves another half track. Looks like it's going to be another Flammenwerfer mount. 90 munis. Interesting decision. Not sure it really makes that much sense. I would really prefer to see
We've 75 points left.
P-Grens grabbing Shreks. I would really like to see that. I think that makes a much better option here. And if you know your opponent is still going to field those tanks, it probably would behoove you, but nope, instead it is going to be the flame projectors on the 251. And who's shopping rounds in the meantime? Oh, good gosh. Okay, is that Cromwell? There is enough munitions here to toss out 1 bundle grenade, and that could be enough to really, really do a ton of damage. Question is will he do so? Yep. Nope. He just animation canceled right in the middle of it. Yikes! And 1 shot comes in, takes out 3 P-Grens. I hate when RNG rolls that way. But somehow that's how the cookie crumbles, and it seems that Firefly is not going to come in because, guys, that guy is just way too expensive. Needs to be some legit action happening soon. Yikes! Those Germans are going to get forced away. A lot of damage being done. And question is, can there be a British resurgence right now? Commanders will slide up to the north trying to pick on this mortar team, I'm sure. Might even be able to decrew it. Those guys are quite devastating against support weapons. Might be able to take him out, but he's going to probably pay for it with his life. Yep, he decrews it, but he will die for it.
commander unit has been wiped out.
But I will allow the Firefly to come in. So question is, what is left for the Germans? Another P-Grunt squad. And still no Shreks coming out on that. And guys, I think this is going to be that last kind of climactic fight here. The Tiger is going to take some damage against this, from this Comet, rather. And all of the Allied vehicles are rushing in right now. I don't think that's a great option. I think right now you don't want to engage the enemy right in his home base. Even if his tanks are showing their heels right now. Good gosh, no, don't tell me that Bernard's going to drop because of this. Tulip rockets go out. That Tiger's probably going to buy it. No, he's okay still so far. No idea how. And here comes a base dive. Oh my gosh, this is the inhumanity. The inhumanity. Don't tell me the Germans are going to go down because of this. This was just a one bad play that's going to sell everything short. And nope, guys, that looks like it's going to be what's going to be the issue here. The Germans had so much to offer. They're up 320 tickets, and here we are. Bernard blames his luck, but at the same time, you know, he really could have been a lot more effective about this. And indeed, this poor Tiger tank up here is just kind of praying he doesn't get taken out. And somehow the Firefly's not even doing it. But Lyon at least has a sense of humor, and both players will acknowledge the ridiculousness of the situation. The Leichter Mechanized Company, it will go down in just a second or two here. This medic bunker should go down pretty soon as well. Firefly's going to sit out here in the open, not really care too much about things. There goes the medic bunker. And GG comes out. It is over, my friends. That is all she wrote. Even though a Tiger coming in could be kind of fun. Actually, let me speed that up a little bit. Is he just going to call another Tiger and see how that happens? I really don't want you just to throw another Tiger away just because. He's going to throw another Tiger away just because. Flammenwerfer for half track will go down. There that goes. Yep, in my mind it would have been much better. Oops, there was a run to his own building. It would have been much better to be putting Shreks on top of those P-Grunt squads as opposed to dealing with this nonsense. But nope, that's going to be it. Well played, Lion. I hope you don't take this personally, but Bernard kind of screwed himself in this game instead. And that is going to be all she wrote. And that's going to be all she wrote. Bernard, you couldn't penetrate, man, because you didn't get it in early enough. But that is it. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in for this particular game. I'm just gonna, you know, kind of go a little cinematic at the end of this here. Thanks for tuning in for this game. If you have a game you want me to check out, please let me know. Email me at conoriggaming@gmail.com. I've been so fortunate to get a lot of your games already, but I'd love to see more all the time. And that will be it. So thanks, everybody. I'll see you all soon. This is Conorig signing off. Take it easy.